You know, this quail is so good this time of year. What do you think, Peter?
That looks perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Right.
Nicely dredged.
There we go. All right.
Now,
I'm here with my friend Peter Brave, and he is creating one of my favorite recipes that he serves in his restaurant, Brave New. It's a gorgeous quail recipe, and it's so easy. So what's next, Peter?
well, we've marinated this quail for about 4 or 5 hours in a little mirepoix, some red wine, and some olive oil, a little cracked black pepper. Go ahead and let those flavors marry. And then after you slightly dredged it there and just straight flour, I've got a very hot skillet here. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to it. That's one of the things the home cooks have a tendency to cook not at high enough temperatures in my estimation, just because you want a nice searing and it quickly seals in the flavors and the juices. I'm going to carefully go ahead and put this quail in here and let him start to go ahead and sear. All right, now you can tell just by the way it's sizzling like that, it's a very nice hot skillet. And it's going to create a little bit of a crust. The skin's going to go ahead and start to mix with that oil, a little flour and seasonings that we put on there.
Locking in those flavors.
Absolutely, it'll make it stay nice and moist. So this is also going to kind of demonstrate a couple little different techniques that I think are fun. I'm trying to kind of rotate the oil around in the skillet so it doesn't get too hot in one place. Otherwise, you run the risk of it getting a little burnt. Which you want it nice and golden brown, but you don't want it to have any of the extra too dark of a color.
So scooting the quail around, and on one side, how long?
Probably about 30 or 45 seconds. And as we're doing this, like I said, constantly moving around, some of that flour and some of the stuff from the quail is going to go ahead and come out and make a little bit of a fond.
Yep, there we go. Look
Beautiful.
at that.
Golden brown.
Gorgeous.
Now, what I'm going to do is, this is a nice little trick, an oven-proof handle. I've got an oven at 400 degrees over here. We'll go ahead and put that in there.
Leaving it in the oil.
Leaving it in the oil and in the skillet and everything. That's a little technique that the restaurant people use a whole lot because you don't have to monitor it. You're getting heat from all sides instead of just from below. And it allows me, if I was in the restaurant, I would be using this time to prep the plate, put the vegetables on the plate or something like that. So
very good.
A very nice little restaurant trick to go ahead and utilize on the home kitchen for sure.
Well, it is such a delicious recipe, and you know, it's the fact that you've used this mirepoix to help season it. Now, the classic mirepoix is just simply carrots and some celery and onion and so forth.
Absolutely. It's about a 50% onion, 25% carrot, 25% celery ratio. Well, let me go ahead and check on this quail.
That's great.
It only takes about a minute and a half.
I'm loving learning your secrets here.
We love sharing with y'all. So, okay, now this one, I mean, we did nice real time here, and it was only in there about a minute and a half. And one of the things I think people fail to realize is that when you're doing something like this, you're going to pull the quail out nice and crispy, golden brown, just beautiful. It was boneless to begin with, and so it's going to go ahead and it's going to cook very fast initially. Now I've got this, whatever's the flour and the oil that's in here, I'm going to go ahead and just dump this out. The skillet that's got a little bit of the flour and a little bit of what they call the fond on the bottom. Now I want to very carefully pour this away from me because we're going to probably get some good flames here. There we go, nice. So that was a little bit of red wine. We're deglazing, getting all the components.
When you do this at home, be careful.
Then I've got a little bit of chicken stock right here. All right, we're going to add that. And then I've got about a tablespoon of lingonberries. Lingonberries is kind of a fun berry that comes in primarily out of the Scandinavian region. You could substitute cranberries very easily to do a cranberries like this. So now what I've got is just a little bit of a pan skillet sauce. I'm going to go ahead and roll it around. You can see the hot sauce is going to go ahead and continue to reduce down. As it reduces down, it'll get more and more of a sauce-like consistency. And right when it gets to about where I want it, I'm going to fold in a little bit of whole butter, and I'm going to fold in some of these beautiful flat leaf parsley and this beautiful leaf thyme that came right off the back porch out here. So we're getting close here. I'm going to go ahead and
now, would this be enough sauce for one quail, Peter? Or a couple?
It would probably work for a couple. This recipe you could very easily, when the size of the skillet and all that kind of stuff, you could double it up.
Well, I would want that much for one quail. It looks delicious.
It is going to make a wonderful sauce. And that butter, what it does is it adds a little bit of sheen to the sauce, a little bit of shine to it.
Does.
And it
not to mention the flavor.
It adds a lot of flavor to it, no doubt about it. So you can see how that all folds in. And you know, we did this in real time, and I mean, we're talking about less than 5 minutes, basically from start to finish. You want to marinate your quail, obviously, for ahead of time, but you could do that.
Again, how long was it marinated?
About 4 hours, I'd say at least. You could do it up to overnight. You do it much farther than that, it has a tendency to be a little bit too overpowering.
It looks like we're about ready here.
Absolutely. So we've got that sauce reduced down, nice, done. And we'll just pour that right over that quail, and there you have it. A simple, beautiful fresh quail with a pan sauce with lingonberries, and a little bit of the fresh herbs.
Well, as soon as it cools off, I'm going to taste it. Thank you so much
It's
for
been a
sharing
pleasure,
your
Alan.
recipe. It's always a pleasure to have you out here at the farm.
Well, thank you very much for having me.